This is the one and only TQuest. You're tuned into the TQuest show, relatable, informative, yet entertaining. Shout out to all my listeners, especially my new listeners, because someone was smart enough to tell you about my show. Or maybe you just saw me somewhere on social media, like, who is this lady? What is she doing? Let me check her out. And if you are new, make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at TQuestGLM. Download your TQuest mobile app in your Google Play Store and your App Store for free. And then once you realize how awesome I am, make sure you go send me a nice review. I'm holding at 5 stars strong. Don't mess it up. Check it out and rock out with your girl T Quest. And remember, you can listen to Gotta Love Me Radio, home of the music and conversation that you want to hear 24/7 on the T Quest app. So if you are a business or an artist and you're looking for rotation where you actually get paid for if you did your paperwork, and you're looking for people, new customers or clientele, you need some ads done in rotation, make sure you contact me. Your girl T Quest have that for you. We have so many services. All you got to do is go to gottalovemyworld.com, click it, and we can make magic happen. So before we get into today's show, because you know I always got a special guest for you guys, we have to do a mental check. I want to make sure everyone is good. I want to make sure everyone is okay. And remember, it is okay to not be okay. You are human, okay? You have the right to be upset. You have the right to be angry. You have the right to be sad. But remember, if it doesn't affect you in 5 years, try your best not to give it more than 5 minutes. Life is too short. So why would you want to be angry? Why would you want to be pissed off? Why would you want to have an attitude? Like, to me, that'll give me a headache. And that's why I stay happy all the time. And remember, if you don't have anyone to talk to, I'm a very busy lady, but I'll try my best to take some time out for you, even if it takes a moment to heal your heart, your mind, just for a second. That me, as a human being, I have done my job to help out the next. Now that I take advantage of my own platform, we're just going to jump right in with today's guest and have some fun. Within 5 seconds, I knew she was dope. And you guys about to see how dope she really is. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you, EK.
Hey,
Hey,
now
girl.
that is a dope ass intro if I ever heard one. She dropped gems. She told you if it doesn't matter in 5 years, don't give it 5 minutes. I like that.
My gosh. Like, when I really study people, they be mad about the dumbest stuff. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, seriously? Oh my God. Didn't I tell you come back in 5 minutes? It's been 7. I'm like, are they really arguing about this?
It's,
Like,
it's
like
2 minutes.
this
it's,
is
it's two
so
minutes.
bad. I'm sure you've seen it before.
I
It's
have.
the
I have.
craziest thing. It's the craziest things. But
Mm-hmm.
it's not about them. It's
Right.
about you. So, for the new listeners, tell the people who you are and where you're from.
Hi, everyone. I go by the name of EK. I'm a songstress, a songwriter based in LA. And I make music written for myself and also the words that I wish someone would have said to me. So the music I make is very, very personal. It's got a little bit of neo soul, a little bit of soul, a little bit of R&B. I'm always experimenting. So yeah, that's me.
That is so dope. I literally started writing songs about, this is how I want a guy to talk to me.
Right? I
This is
mean,
how I want you to approach me. And I'm like, no one's doing this stuff, because if they're not listening, they're like, look, you need to act like this. You
yeah.
need to say this. So I'm
Mhm.
so happy that you make music like that. That's super dope. And shout out to C Payne listening right now. He's actually a recording artist too. We may even see a collab in the near future. So that's super dope. Stay on C Payne, because when you hear her music, you're going to be hooked on it, just like I was the first time I heard it. So
But
I like to bring it back a little bit, right?
mhm.
When we were younger, we had an assignment. When I grow up, I want to be. What did you say?
Oh shit, you're gonna put me on the spot like that?
Radio.
Yo, I'm like a jack of all trades, so many things that I want to do. When I was younger, this is gonna sound a little bit cliche, but I always knew I wanted to be like, I wanted to leave my mark in the world. And so I always try to look at it as not so much from a vain perspective, like I want to be famous or anything like that, but growing up, I always had exposure to certain people or certain works that had an effect on me that was positive. Whether it was a book that I read, whether it was a piece of music that I heard, whether it was a piece of art that I was having the luxury of, witnessing. And it was a positive effect. I always wanted to be able to replicate that. And so I just tried a little bit of everything and wanted to do that. So I don't really have a title per se, but it was always just, I wanted to be able to create something that was so personal for me that would somehow resonate with someone else. And that was like everything to me.
You are so dumb. Like, we're only in a couple of minutes and I just felt like the coolest person outside myself.
Bless. Takes one to know. What?
Okay. So, and I totally get that. Because you just know, like, I know I'm going to make an impact in this world. I know I'm going to touch lives. Let's just figure out what part of it is going to be a part of my journey. Right?
Right.
So, how do we get from there to the music? People in your family was into music?
Oh, actually, no. I mean, my dad was really into music. My mom, not so much. My mom was more of the music, like she was a little bit traditional in the sense that she wanted to, I mean, as most parents do, they're always like, oh, we want you to do something that's a little bit stable. So like, yeah, you can sing, girl, but like pick up the book though. But music has always been something that came so natural to me. I was a closet singer. My first audience were the tiles in my bathroom, people banging on the door, like, you can't be quiet. But, and it just was always something that I pursued, but I didn't really take it seriously or work on original music till 2018. Actually, 2017, sorry. And that was like right off of university. I was part of this radio club that broadcasted music throughout campus. And I'm like a crate digger. I love music. I love discovering music. So that was kind of me coming into my own and really just going like, you know what? So why don't I experiment with this? Why don't I listen to this instrumental and just like put it to words, just try it out. And it just clicked and I realized that I really do love it. Music is such a therapy to me because like you said, as women, women artists, we're so diverse, there's so many channels that you can access us. So there's never a shortage of ways that we could possibly say a side of a story that wouldn't resonate with, woman A, woman B, or guy A or guy B. So I feel like there's never a shortage of women talking about different experiences from our side. And so I just always try to come correct when I write,
Absolutely. So now I got this whole notebook of so many things I wanted to piggyback off of that you just touched on, right? So let's bring it back when you was like reading books. Because it's kind of like a dying art right now, which is so bad. It's so bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah.
Tell people the importance of reading before we jumping into the music.
Okay. Let me put it like this. If you don't step into a library or just open a book and don't like fall in love with that smell, what's wrong? you gotta love it. That's reason number one. Number two is that I feel like reading books is kind of just a straight up investment. It's a commitment, right? With a podcast, with an article, we could just go like, no, scroll. I'm done. Like I'm out of here. But when you commit to a book and really give it the time of day, it's you willing to put in the time to better yourself. You willing to learn about a different perspective or learn more about this thing that you're interested in. You can't, and the way things are described, just the command of language, no matter what language you speak, I think that in order to hold a reader, in order to reach from page one to the end, you got to be able to tell a story. And I think that as social creatures, us humans, like we love stories. So if you ever feel like you're in a rut or like you've just heard it all, pick up a book. it's magical stuff.
Oh my
It's never
God.
stopped that. Yeah.
You are so right. And it's funny because my sister, I call her the Black Belle, because she's loves reading,
Mm,
and that's like her happiness and her go-to outside of her like busy life as like a mom, as a wife, as an
mm,
entrepreneur. Her downtime is reading, and then
mm.
she had to adjust to the whole Kindle world because now,
Ah,
with the ebooks and stuff, but she
mm,
loves it. I'm like, reading is so dope. Like
mm,
sometimes if you're gonna be on your device, use it for what you really should be using it for. Go
mm.
on Amazon Prime, download Kindle, read. Reading is fundamental.
Yeah.
And it takes you on a journey and it allows you to escape your reality just like music.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need that. And speaking of that, like your whole shirt is a vibe.
Oh, listen.
Music, wine, and incense.
Listen, this is by a collective that I am absolutely the biggest fan of. They
Mhm.
go by the name of Selection. They're off of here in LA. And the guy who runs things, Joe K, he's like a master curator of music. Whenever I'm just, you know how we always just hear the same music?
Mhm.
Like I said, I love crate digging. So it also transcends into the digital world. So when I go, like, I just need to hear something from the underground, like something that's not in the airways, like show me what people are doing. Selection takes me there. And Joe K he built a brand off of the ethos of what Selection is, which is just timeless classics and beautiful sounds.
Mhm.
And this is from his merch. So, and this is a vibe, is it not? I mean,
Exactly.
I love it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I love what you said when it comes to music. Music is so big.
Mm,
It's so diverse. And that's why I always tell people I'm uncomfortable with what we see mainstream, especially in our
mm,
culture, because there's so many different types of music, because there's so many different types of emotions, so many different types of
mhm,
people. Why are
mm.
we only sticking to one type?
Yeah.
That's why you like you said, dig in the crates, go underground. I'm like, whatever you guys are seeking or you miss or you think they're lacking in mainstream, it's there. You just have to take the time to search for it. Or
So
like my
true.
platform, I use it to show people the hidden gems that they may have missed.
Hmm.
And you are definitely a gem that is people need to see shine.
Oh
And so I'm
man.
glad you're here on the
Bless,
TQuest
bless.
show. Okay. So let's just jump right in to the music and then we're gonna go back to some other things. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, your single right now that is out, nice. Single, or is it going to be part of an EP, or what's up?
Hmm. That's a good question. Uh, um, it was supposed to be off of an EP,
Okay.
but this is just going to be a single. It was
Mhm.
something that I created a while ago that I really was waiting to kind of put out. But
Mhm.
there's a project coming out in the works. The
Okay.
single won't be a part of it, but there's a lot more to come.
Okay. Now, this is my favorite part.
Mm.
I would like to know the story behind
Ah,
Nice.
nice. Ooh, yeah. I mean, the hook says, I like it like I like my light. It must be nice. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um, 2020, I mean, it's been a year for everyone. It tested
Mhm.
us on so many fronts, the individual, the collective. And I think that there's a lot of people who, I mean, 2020 really just made us stop for a second, right? So there was a
Mhm.
lot of times where people were just stuck in the machine of things. We were just going, and you never really check what's present around you. What's the energy like? What's the vibe like?
Mhm.
What are these people bringing into my life, and what am I bringing back?
Yeah.
Um, and it kind of just made us reflect and just kind of stop and go like, wait, hold on a second, this is not really getting me to where I want to go.
Mhm.
And you just had to reevaluate things, and that's what Nice was about. It started off with that hook, honestly. Like, I wrote it down so many times, and I just started like harmonizing it, and I was just like, yeah, like I like it like I like my light. It must be nice, and I gotta set the standards that I want.
Okay.
Because if it doesn't take me there, then it won't really feed me. And so that was really what cultivated and inspired and allowed me to expand to the rest of the song. It talks about a love interest. I mean, the idea that, hey, how many times whenever we women decide to kind of take a stand and say, hey, I need this, 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 and this, it's either greeted really positively or it's taken somehow as a negative thing, whereas it's not really about you. It's about me. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so it's just a conversation really about how sometimes when you do take the time to stand up for yourself, it could be meted either way. And you just kind of have to be like, I'm still out here doing me, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. So talk to me about the whole concept behind your video though.
The video is really special because it features my label mate, Zenon Levon, and this gem of a film director who's going to be on the come up. You're going to see her name a lot. Her name is Zaina Tripp. And I loved it because this is the first time I worked with a female director. And I love that. I love an all Black team. And I also love working with my girls. So
there you go.
yeah, so it was actually really interesting because Nice had a lot of different visual tenets to me, but also it was interesting to see how we came up with the storyboard because quarantine, right? It needed to be safe. And so we kind of kept it actually in one location, but we really got diverse with what we wanted to do with it. And I just really wanted it to be a little bit laid back. I just wanted people to hear what I was saying and just, you know, keep it a buck. So it was cool that that was the storyboard behind it. Just picking good shots and just keeping it raw. And it was just all about the one-on-one interaction with me and the potential listener. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, introduce the song for the people.
Ooh, okay. Are you about to play it? Am I giving an interlude right now?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. All right. This is my latest single, my first single of 2021. It's called Nice, and it's produced by my man Versus. It's get you a cup of tea on the afternoon, get you a glass of wine in the early evening, you know, start off your morning with just a little bit of intent. Yeah, this is Ekay. Nice.
Like you like I like my life. Like you like I like my life. It must be nice. Guess that's why they stumble when they try to get all comfortable. Guess that's why they stumble. Guess that's why they stumble. Yeah. Like you like I like my life. Like you like I like my life. It must be nice, yo. Like you like I like my life. Like you like I like my life. It must be nice. If I had $1 for every time a lane told me that you must be sad for me, my G, how is that on me? I just do what I do, and I do it well around here. That's our standard. Nod your head, don't leave the gas on. Don't you go ahead and let yourself. Don't let yourself. When I say what I say, like you say, who's choking now? I mean, if it gets too hot for you, I got a paper bag with your name on it. I don't need that shit, my frozen nights. And I got all the shade, and I don't take it kind way too kindly. Biden's been your way, comes up in your trays. That's the shit I never like to play with. No, like you like I like my life. Like you like I like my life. It must be nice, yo. Like you like I like my life. Like you like I like my life. It must be nice. If that shit don't add up, it don't make sense. If you did shit, you should take it right. And if I had $1 for every time a dude told me, girl, you way too proud, probably cause your sorry ass never got the numbers to dial. Ring, ring, motherfucker, yeah. Nasty love ain't water. Fire touch, your ass is straight cutter. In them stereos, 1, 2 superior. Ain't that deep, ain't that serious. Now you dismiss when you're out, missing on the real shit. Pull up on one, ask her to fill in. You're missing on the real shit. Pull up on one, ask her to feeling. Cause it ain't going down like that. No, this ain't the place to come and check your like it, like my light. Like it, like my light. It must be nice, y'all. Like it, like my light. Like it, like my light. It must be nice. Like it, like my light. Like it, like my light. It must be nice, y'all. Like it, like my light. Like it, like my light. It must be nice. Real nice. Nice. Real nice. Real nice.
Awesome. That is so dope. Oh my
Mm.
gosh. All right. Shout out to DJ Grants that's saying this is a vibe,
Oh,
you know,
bless
and
up.
so many personalities. Like she
Oh,
loves you.
this is true. This is true. I love
Yeah,
you too.
absolutely. And DJ
Bless
Elena
up.
saying it's a strong song, respect.
Thank
So
you.
as you can tell, people are loving it. What's some
Mm.
other feedback you've been getting on this song since you released it?
Ah, I think this was the first video I had out where people just kind of saw me, just kind of. This is the way that I would perform, honestly. Like I would
Mhm.
just get up on stage and just kind of. I'm enjoying myself. I hope you guys are enjoying me too. So a lot of feedback was like it was dope seeing you kind of just have fun in the video, and we could hear it in the track itself. So I was like, yeah, that's cool. This is a little bit up tempo, a little bit mid tempo from what I usually do. So people were
Mhm.
like, yeah, this is like a nice beat to like vibe to. I'm like, yeah. So yes, it's been good feedback. It's been good feedback.
Okay. So you're saying it's mid tempo. So the songs you normally put out is slower or faster?
A little bit slower, but
Ooh.
yeah. But I'm right now. It's like a whole experimenting field. I'm trying
Okay.
to dibble and dabble in trap. So I'm really excited to like. Yeah, I mean, I've been,
Okay.
yeah, like I'm just, hey, it's fun to diversify. I think it's
Absolutely.
easy. It's easier to do that because I write my own music. So, and
Mhm.
I'm a rap head at heart. Like honestly, if you go through my phone, all you see is that. So it's like, so I think it's just about expanding and just constantly experimenting with your sound,
Okay.
which is what I love doing. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm excited for what's to come.
Okay, okay. Now, when I first heard the song, I was thinking of like an acoustic vibe,
Mm,
the intimate lounges and people, just listening to the music, sipping their wine, getting their
mm,
vibe on, which
yeah.
is a beautiful thing because I've noticed, with me being a part of multiple DJ coalitions and a lot of them being like club DJs, every time someone brings a slower song, they was like, "This is dope, but do you have something we can play in the club?" I'm like, forget the club stuff, okay? Right now, most people been home. So there's nothing wrong with having music that they can just vibe to at home or they just
Mm,
vibe to while they're driving. Like, allow this type of song to marinate, okay? Please. Every song does not have to be a song for the club. But I
mm,
get it, but you need to
yeah,
get the song. You need to
yeah.
get what's right here in your face. This
Mm,
song is so dope and it's just a vibe and it just makes you just want to relax and just chill and just
mm,
enjoy
yeah.
beautiful music from a beautiful artist that's very gifted and your vocals is so dope,
Oh,
you
bless.
know?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We try.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
now I'm curious about the rest of the catalog you already put out. So you're saying it's more slower music, but where does that stem from? Like, who are you as an artist and how do you describe your particular style?
I love that question. Yeah, because it's ever evolving, right?
Mhm,
And us artists, like someone commented, multiple personalities. It's so true.
mhm,
But with me, honestly, it comes from the pen. I used to do a lot of spoken word poetry, and that's essentially where it comes from. To me, hip hop, like that's one of the elements to me. That's the penmanship. So,
mhm,
so to me, it's like I would be feeling a thing, or a beat would just grab me and it would start with that. I would just immediately start writing. I also freestyle. So a lot of these songs just me. Yeah. I would just like, honestly, there was this one track I got out. It's called Shaolin's Freestyle. And I'm a Wu-Tang girl, like all the way. I heard those Chinese flutes on the beat and the whole song is a freestyle. So someone should check that out.
Or you can just do it live for us.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a video out too.
What's the name of the video?
It's Shaolin's Freestyle. EK.
Shaolin.
Yeah.
How you spell it?
So SHAOLIN apostrophe S. Shaolin's Freestyle.
Okay. And who is Shaolin's?
Oh well, 36 chambers. Let me take you back to that. It's one of them terminologies that was used a lot by the Wu-Tang and the movies. We could go back to that too, but yeah, it was just something that I felt in the song at that time, and the way that the Shaolin would perform all of the stuff that they would be doing. So it was, the whole song is actually an exchange about me testing a potential love interest. Does your Shaolin style match mine? That was the hook. So
okay. And I love how you said about Wu-Tang and everything, because for some odd reason, but this is just people for you, when you do a certain genre, they just assume that's the only type of music that you like. You know, I'm just like, no. Even with me, like when I'm wearing the artist hat, right? I'm a very diverse artist. So I'm just like, if I come off as saying like I'm a rapper, they automatically assume I like to be in ciphers. I like to freestyle, get that East Coast style. And I'm just like, everyone's
nothing
not
wrong
like
with a
that.
little bit of East Coast though, you know what I'm saying?
Ain't nothing wrong with it, but don't put me in a box. It was to the point I literally rebranded myself as an artist. Then I started doing more like melodic music. So then once they heard me this way, they never asked me again to be in no cipher or the freestyle, because they're looking at me differently. And then I'll switch it again and may do some singing, may do some poetry. And now they like, you do radio. I'm like, yes, don't put me in a box.
In a box, yeah. Hey, the female force is diverse. Like I said, we could do a lot. We could take it down here, but we could also take it up here. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a mixture. Yeah. Exactly.
So now we gotta switch it. Did you watch the Wu-Tang series when it came out?
On Hulu? Hell yeah. I don't play. I'm on it always. Oh God.
Oh my gosh.
I love the Wu.
I was so addicted. I'm like, I'm not really streaming, watching TV, movie person, been in a long time. But when that came on, I couldn't just watch one at a time. I'm like, no, I was indulging into it. I'm just like, I love these movies on music artists or actors and stuff, because you get a chance to see everything behind the scenes. Like
especially when they're a part of the writing process or the way that the story gets told. So you're getting it right from the source. So
absolutely. And I'm just like I told you before, that's the reason why I put together my show the way that I do, to really get to know you. My favorite things about artists is not always the music, it's not always the music videos. It's the interviews. As long as you got the right person to interview you, to bring out the right situations and stories and struggles, to really peel back those layers to you, then you really get to know them as a person.
So true. I could not agree more. I always have this sort of debate, do you fall in love with the music or do you fall in love with the artist that's making it? And I also go as deep to know, hey, who wrote this song? And if I see the artist had a hand in it, I'm just like, okay, this can't, like, I now have a deeper connection to you. I don't know. It's just it makes you a lot more relatable. It makes the music more accessible. And yeah, it's just I always like, sometimes I'm just like gunning for the person as well as much as I'm gunning for the music. And so if there's any way that I could get to know them, you're right,
Mhm.
interviews is like one of the best ways that we get to do that. So yeah, shout out to people like you who give us platforms to show people who we are really outside of the music.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
everything I do in life stems from something I've experienced.
Hmm.
When I'm on your side, I'm just like, why are you asking me that question? Why are you asking me basic things? Like, are you
Yeah.
serious? Remember, who's your top five? I'm just like, nobody but me. Next
Mm.
question. Like, that's
First
not that
person energy.
important.
Yeah.
Like, I have a story to tell. I've
Mm.
been through some things. Ask
Yeah.
me the right questions so I can really connect with my fans and potential fans so they
Yeah.
know the real like hurt or happiness
Mm.
in my music. Let me
Mm.
tell them the story behind it,
Yeah.
So I'm just like, nope.
Mm.
Once the opportunity presents itself, I'm gonna show people how it's supposed to be done and treat
Mhm.
people the way I wish I was treated. And that's
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I really want to know what's going on.
Mm.
Even it's funny how you said you used to be a spoken word artist because I kind of sensed it,
Oh,
but I
word. Okay.
but I don't assume things,
Mm.
but I
Yeah.
sensed it,
Yeah.
and I used to be a part of the whole spoken word group for years, and it's
Mm.
just interesting seeing the different dynamics of the artists while they're really expressing themselves with their words. Now there's some of them it could be deep, but the way they presented it, I couldn't connect with it.
Fair
The
enough.
ones who really just read the stuff off the paper and then they want
Yeah.
you to connect with it, or they're
Yeah.
too low so you really can't hear them, or
Yeah.
they're just and I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
no,
Mm.
you wrote this for a reason, which
Yeah.
means you have to recite it for
Yeah.
people to receive it the way
Yeah.
you want it to be received.
Yeah.
People don't realize you have to make sure every part of that is on point. Now, I'm
Mm.
curious when you were doing spoken word, tell me about some of them stories in your
Ah.
notebook.
Yeah. Oh, because you know it's a notebook thing.
Exactly.
We've
I
got
can tell.
volumes. Yeah, for sure. It's the truth. It's the truth. Um, it's like with poetry. The beauty about it, and someone said this once about the way that I speak or the way that I write, and I always think about it now.
Mhm.
We pick our words so carefully to hit exactly what we needed to hit. So you get what I'm trying to say in the
Mhm.
shortest amount of time possible.
Absolutely.
And so there's like this beautiful curation about the way that we tell stories. And like you said, when that person really recites it the way that they're supposed to, is because the words are just hitting right.
Mhm.
And that's just you crafting your sword, right? Like you're really honing in your skills and working on that. So for
Mhm.
me, with my spoken word, and how it led to my music as well, was I used
Mhm.
to do, like, it was a morphosis. So I would be spinning some lines and then I would just break into song for one line.
Nice.
And people would just all be like, oh, she could sing too. But yeah, a lot of the pieces that I would write were about love.
Mhm.
Because yeah, that's an instant one. We all write about that.
Absolutely.
But
Mhm.
it was also beyond the love of a person or a non-love of the person. It was also
Mhm.
just talking about the experience of being a Black woman, and the love of self, because
Mhm.
that to me was something that's still like a discourse or a topic that is so deep to me. Because and I won't go off on a tangent here, but the concept of thinking that when it comes to the love of self, we're always taught straight up when we're kids, hey, Cinderella and Prince Charming and stuff like that. But no one talks to us about the beautiful love journey, about how we start to really love ourselves. And we don't get to that till later in life. Most of us, at least. I mean, if you're
Absolutely.
blessed to
Mhm.
unlock that before, great. But yeah, so those topics really drove my pen. And of course, there was multiple others, but those were the themes that I really like to cover in my pieces.
Absolutely. Self-love. I mean,
Mm,
I can't say it enough. I keep reciting to
100%.
people like affirmation, self-love,
Mhm.
self-care, self-worth. Like this stuff is
Yeah.
so important. You got to remind yourself. Like
Yeah.
this year is all about self,
So true.
because you got to make sure you're okay before
Yeah.
you can make sure everyone else is okay. But it's hard for people to do, but you just got to take baby steps. You
Mhm.
definitely got to take baby steps. Now, real random.
Hmm.
EK.
Tell me.
No, literally EK. Where does that even come from?
Is it a strange name?
I'm like, is it your real name? Is it a nickname? It's
Ah,
like, what's
it's
up?
actually it's an abbreviation of my last names, actually.
Hmm.
So EKAY all stand for something. So it's so from where I'm from, I'm originally Sudanese. The way our names are, it goes it's your whole lineage. So you don't get to pick like a middle name. It would be your father, your great grandfather, and so on and so forth. So it was almost like a recitation that when people try to understand what tribe you were from or what your lineage was, you just
Mhm.
go to your name. And
Yeah.
I really do care about those things, and I really do. I believe in being able to just be able to have all of you present when you come correct. You and your ancestors coming for the
Mhm.
mic. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So it just kind of came up honestly, and I was just like, hey. It's actually someone said Dorian. I'm going to give him a shout out from Black on Black Rhyme, from one of the spoken word poetry circles that we had. He was like, "Ek, that sounds like a poet's name," and I'm like, I like
Hmm.
it. So it's stuck.
Very cool. I'm glad you talked about your background because I wanted to ask you about that. So, where are
Mm.
you originally from?
I'm originally Sudanese, and I was born and raised in Dubai. I know there's a lot of connotations about being born and raised in Dubai, and I'm here to tell you they're all wrong.
Yes, let them know. The floor is yours. Let
It's
them know
all
now.
wrong. It's incredibly diverse. It's a multitude of cultures. Oh my goodness, you meet so many different people from all walks of life, and but yeah, I mean, it's tricky when people ask me where I'm from. I subscribe to being a third culture kid, and third culture being your parents are from a place and you were raised in another place, but you subscribe to a completely different culture.
Yeah.
I grew up listening to my dad playing Bob Marley and the Wailers and just falling in love with hip hop and digging back to like a Tribe Called Quest and De La Soul, and now we're here. It's this constant. I don't know. I'm from everywhere and nowhere. So
I love it. I love
mm,
it because people always hear things or assume things or
mm,
just be like, "Well, I heard this." I'm like, "But you don't really know,
mhm,
and you're not taking the time out to do your research,
mhm,
but you're quick to be loose lip about it." I'm just like,
mm.
"Why do people do that?" I can't stand when people do that. It's
Yeah,
horrible,
yeah,
And then on the other side, you think of where you're from, like a vacation spot. Everybody wants to go to Dubai.
yeah.
I'm like, there's more than just resorts, right? Like people live here.
Live there. Those same
Go live.
struggles you have, we got them too.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's just so crazy, so
yeah.
crazy. But that's just people for you. But I want to
Hmm.
have some fun,
Hmm.
before like wrap things up or
Mm.
whatever, because you are super awesome and you are
Mm.
super dope. And I just want to make sure people really get the essence
Mm.
of EK during this interview. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Mhm.
Mhm. So, let's have some fun questions. All right.
Let's go. Yeah.
Okay. Ice cream or sherbet?
Unpopular opinion, sherbet.
I know it's so random, right? It's
Yeah, I
just
know. I
so
love it. I
random.
love it. I love it. I'm here
Like
for it.
I
Yeah.
literally think of the most random thing. Or some people do like ice cream or frozen yogurt. I'm like, don't do frozen, it's just sherbet. Right?
Sherbet.
Super instant.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Uh-huh.
right now it's time to put another stamp in your passport. Where are we
Hmm.
going?
Cuba.
Ooh, now
Yeah.
tell us why.
I always wanted to go to Cuba. I
Mhm.
always had this vision of a white dress and a red lip and just dancing till the sun comes up in Cuba. That's
Oh my
bucket
gosh.
list. And
Okay.
just melanin popping, just get that tan because the sun hits different in different parts of the world, honestly. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay. I like that. I like that. And I should have known your answer's gonna be a little different, which I feel like everyone's answer should always be
Mhm.
different because we're individuals. We
Uh-huh.
shouldn't always be the same,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love that, love that, love that. All right. You have a day off.
Hmm.
No music, no
Mhm.
business.
Nothing.
It's a day of your happiness.
Mm.
Whatever you want to do. Tell us some things that will happen on that day.
Me in my bed would be one. That's the first one.
Okay.
And the next one would definitely be cooking. I love cooking. Oh my god.
Really?
Yeah. It's such a zen out time for me. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, lazing around in bed and getting some food and then just sitting somewhere pretty, maybe like in my balcony, maybe a couple of trees, something, just me eating. I love food.
No, that's awesome because I
Mm,
tell people when you do so much,
mm.
sometimes when it's time to clock out, you literally want to clock out.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just want to go home and relax and
Yeah.
do nothing
Mm.
because we're always doing
Doing
something,
something. Amen.
So that's
Yes.
super awesome, which is kind of funny because it segue
Mm,
into
mhm,
my next question.
mm,
Right now, it's date night. You're the chef.
mm.
What's on the plate?
Ooh, shit. Do I know what the allergy situation is? Because you always got to ask.
See? This is why I like you. That is so important. Someone brought
Yeah,
me
you got
lunch
to
one time.
know.
I was like, thank you. And it had shrimp in it, and I'm allergic
You
to
got to ask.
shellfish.
Yeah, see, you got to ask.
You
You got to
ask.
ask.
Now, despite my situation with shellfish,
What would I
let's
cook?
just say there's no allergies.
What would I cook? It would probably be some mashed potatoes, some grilled vegetables, but the main course would be some grilled salmon because I make a mean grilled salmon. A nice
Yo,
bottle of
like
wine,
this is
and it's
unreal.
done.
Like,
It's set a couple of like candles, some incense, some Marvin Gaye.
yo, I'm about to call my travel agent with the states. I'm like, look, you need to book me in California because I just found my new best friend.
Right,
Like,
girl,
oh
come through.
my life. I literally was just talking about that because my sister's birthday's coming up. And you ever been to
Mm,
the Sugar Factory or heard of it?
can't say I have, no.
Okay, so it's this fun place where, they have like the colorful drinks, like the big
Mm,
bowls, and
mm,
the ones where you see like the candies and the
yeah.
cookies and like all these fun things. And then it's a restaurant too, so it's just
Mm.
like an experience when you go
Ah,
with your friends or your date and stuff. And she wants to go there, and I was just like, I remember when I went for my birthday, and she's like, "What'd you order?" I said, "I ordered, of course, my favorite salmon, mashed potatoes, asparagus." And I'm just like, "Yo, that meal is just so lit." So
it's so nutritious and balanced and good. You feel good. You don't got the
exactly,
quesadillitis. It's fine. It's
you
got
get
you
it.
snoozing after. Yeah.
You get it. That's what I was trying to tell people. I'm like, and then people like, yeah, we're gonna go to like a 5-course meal. I'm like, can we get a doggy bag? Because I don't understand why people want to get itis and get tired after
Yeah.
eating. Like, no, the
Yeah.
day's still
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
So, yo, he was so dope. I swear for that.
No.
Anybody in the audience that may have a question for EK, you can definitely drop in the chat because you know me, I'm gonna go forever because she is just super awesome and super dope.
Oh,
And I
bro.
tell people once TQuest has a love for you,
Mm.
always got your back,
Hey,
especially
listen,
in the
the
media.
love is mutual. You so easy to talk to. This is great.
The quest effect is real. I keep trying to tell people my hashtag is legit.
Gotta let him
God
know.
damn
Gotta let him know.
it. Wow. Like,
Yes.
you guys be more like EK. Okay? Be more like EK for me. It's gonna be so much better. Yes.
Mm,
Okay. Now, I want to piggyback off of something you said earlier when it
mm,
came to this new music that you're cooking up. I'm
mhm,
so curious because when you were talking about it, you had a certain glow on your face.
Oh man.
And I'm like, I know she can't talk too much about it,
Mhm.
but you can at least give me something.
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 Something. So I have multiple personalities, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's because I relocated to Los Angeles.
Mhm.
And because my music is so personal, a lot of it is just, I feel like whatever I document in my music, whatever I create, it's like a stamp of where I'm at in my life, obviously, as all
Mhm.
artists are.
Mhm.
And now that I'm really outside of my comfort zone, like the music needs to do the same. And
Mhm.
I think that with all of the resources that we just have nowadays, it's easy to make music. So how could you fall like, I'm not saying anything against anyone, to each their own, but I'm just saying
Mhm.
I never want to fall prey to doing more of the same. And I'm so blessed to have such a beautiful team with me. Shout out to Rogue City Entertainment, who see that in me and then help me, or at least give me the guidance to try and do the same. So with this next project, it's really trying to just give them something different. I mean, because with soul and neo soul in general, it's so soothing. It is, and it's such a comfort. I think what I'm trying to do is challenge how it could also possibly become something else, or just
Mhm.
cater to different sounds while staying true to itself. So it's in essence, it's trying to unlock a certain DNA, and I don't think I've heard another female right now doing this sort of thing. So
Okay.
yeah, trying to cater to the market and stay true to oneself.
Now, when you say the market,
Yeah.
which market in particular?
That's a good question. See, the thing is, there's no real answer to that, at least in my eyes. That there's so many markets, right? Obviously, there's so many listeners, so many different tastes. You can't possibly cater to all of them. But what I do mean to say is that to curate a discography, or to curate an evolving sound that allows more people to check into what you're making. I think that is important, because if an artist creates simply for the self, it will remain with the self or the select few who seek you out. But
Mhm.
if you do try to just add a little bit yellow, add a little bit purple, add a little bit of green, you just might touch someone else, and then that exchange will help bring out more out of you. So there's no real answer to that, honestly, from my side, but I'm just saying, just expansion is a good thing, because it challenges you, right? So
Okay. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, with everything that's been going on with the pandemic and stuff, a lot of us artists and stuff wasn't able to really, entertain and connect with our fans the way we want. Of
mm,
course, I've done a lot of virtual events, but it's just not the same.
not the same.
Tell us about one or a few experiences you've had when connecting with your fans when it comes to performing. If you had the chance to perform, because I know you said you started really doing music in the last couple of years, so I don't
Yeah,
want to prejudge, but
yeah.
if you have already, if you had one of those experiences, you can share with us.
Are we saying pre-pandemic, or you mean during 2020 itself?
No, in
Just
general,
general.
just
Oh yeah.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've been pretty fortunate to work with a lot of different brands. I've worked with Puma, I've worked with Adidas, I've worked with Nike.
Hmm.
And the beautiful thing about that is that I was definitely able, because they'll scout you for your sound. And I was able to perform in intimate events, which were a lot small scale, which is, yeah, I mean, for an artist like me, that's like my go-to. I love that. I love being able to be leveled with the audience and just connect. But yeah, I think definitely the moment where it hits you, because I think every artist has a moment where it just hits them mid performance. It had to be my performance with Soul DXB. Shout out to them. They're a beautiful sneaker summit festival out in Dubai that's also just an urban cultural festival, and they bring out all of these dope artists. I was lucky enough to be on the same bill as Nas and Masego when they came out, so that was really dope. Yeah. And I was on the main stage. That was really sick. And it's just being able to just hear the beat on those speakers, being able to say something and have the audience say it back, just have them waving, and then the lights hit and you just see how many people that is. That festival was packed. I'm talking about like 3,000. It was absolutely amazing. So yeah, like I genuinely do miss that, because look, performances, I don't care how long your set is, it lasts like this.
Exactly.
So if you don't like tune in and just have fun with it, like I become a different person. And I just enjoy it, and I love feeling that exchange back. So yeah, definitely fortunate to have had some really dope performances before the pandemic hit. Just waiting for things to get back up, because I want to see what the LA audience is like. You know what I'm saying? I want to feel that energy. I want to see those spaces, all of that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Got it.
Saw you walking past my window pane, trying to tell me what you vision me to be. Think you wanna see exactly. Told you that I didn't mean to let you in the way that I did. Told you you could come and circle my way, come and step into my dojo. I'm trying to see if you can bend your soul the same way I do. Does your Shaolin style match mine? Shaolin style match mine. I'm trying to take these styles and represent Wu and keep you all the ways that you've been through. I'm trying to stay true to you, trying to stay true to you. Think you could? Does your Shaolin style match mine? Cause I'm trying to see if I bend, would you push back? If I bend, would you push back? So don't trip, don't think that you gon' let it go. Let it take control. Does your Shaolin style match mine? Does your Shaolin Rhythm challenge when you fantasize these. Find me on 311 days and now in the sunrises. I wanna see how you receive it. When the prophecy comes your way, to rise up to meet it. 'Cause shadows cover me, box them out till they come your way. Searching for true things, real things. Would you be game to keep things? Loyal to what we create, loyal to how we shift ways. Trying to see if you mirror what I'm mirroring. Is this time to fade at me? Does your Shaolin style match mine? 'Cause I'm trying to see if I call you, would you call on me? If I call on you, would you call on me? Yeah, yeah. So don't trip, don't think that you gon' let it go. Let it take control. Does your Shaolin style match mine? Does your Shaolin Does your Shaolin style match mine? Does your Shaolin? Oh God.
Okay. You were
uh,
just a live vibe.
yeah.
You
There
were
you go.
you're literally just a floating live vibe. Wow. Okay.
Thank
Yay. Wait. Really special.
you.
Incredible. You are so
Thank you.
gifted. You are so talented. You
Thank
are
you.
so humble. You are so
Oh,
professional. You
like,
are the type of queen people need to emulate. And when I meet
bless.
more people like you, it just puts a bigger smile on my face.
Oh,
And
if you
I
can
just want to
see my
let you know
smile. Oh, man. I'm
I'm
blushing.
here. I got your back. I'm
Mm,
here to support. You're already on rotation on my
oh,
radio station. You know what I'm
bless. Thank you.
saying? And anything like Quest got a new song,
Oh,
anything, I'm here.
oh, girl.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Like for
I
real, for real.
appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Even all the DJs that is listening right now and artists, like they're loving you.
Oh,
What's not to love? Hi.
oh,
You know what I'm
bless.
saying?
Yeah.
So the show is about to wrap up, already
Mm-hmm.
close to an hour. So
Ooh.
this is a time you get to talk to this new audience who's new to you.
Mm,
And whatever you want to say to them, it can just be like, check me out. This is my music. This is what I have up and coming. Follow me here. It could be a wow moment, words of wisdom. It can be whatever you want them to know about you, your music, or life in general. Take
mm,
your time. The floor is yours.
hmm. This is a special one. Um, hello. Um, my name is EK, and I'm an artist that is probably going to be incredibly unconventional in the time to come. But if you choose to join me on this journey, I promise you it'll be an honest one. It'll be one where you'll always be able to relax and have fun. And if you do want to follow me on my journey, I'm on all streaming platforms under the name of EK. That's a lowercase e. And there's a story behind that, but yes, lowercase e on all streaming platforms. You can find me on Instagram at really ek, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of that same handle. Join me on this journey. If you've found me through the show, DM me, say what's up. I'm gonna say what's up back. It's all love. Yeah, come join me on this journey.
Okay, that was awesome. Now, before we wrap this up, because I actually had a conversation about your name in all lowercase. Is there any
Mm.
way you can say within a minute?
Yeah,
This-
yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Uh, it's a humble thing. Also, because I'm a perfectionist, and I know this is gonna sound stupid, but I don't wanna. Yeah, just I hope people see this visual thing that I'm doing, because otherwise it wouldn't make sense. But yeah, yeah, it's just
Okay.
part of the sentence, part of the flow.
Okay, because when I was designing a flyer, I was
Mm,
like, I see lowercase, but
it's
for some
always
reason I feel like I gotta keep it this way. So we looked at your social media. It's like,
and you
no,
notice,
it's
yeah,
lowercase
it's
for a reason.
lowercase.
So we're
Yes.
gonna respect that.
Mm,
Don't know why it's like that,
thank you, thank
but
you, thank you, thank you. It's
it's
one of
on
those things.
purpose.
I'm on my
It's-
Prince tip, trying to be super
Oh my
specific.
god,
Everything's
absolutely.
intentional. Yes.
Okay, that's why I'm glad. I tell people do your research. Don't rush anything, especially if you're trying to cater to like your guests, your audience, whatever. Just
Mm,
make sure you pay attention. And I'm glad you paid attention to that. I'm like, no, it's lowercase for a reason. What it
yeah.
is, I don't know, but it's lowercase for a reason. But
Now you know.
I just want to
It's
say
my
thank you so
OCD.
much for being here on a TQuest show. Relatable, informative, yet entertaining. And you're welcome back anytime. You're super awesome and
Thank you,
dope.
thank you, thank you for having me.
And yeah, the song is nice.
Mm,
The title
catch
is
it on
nice.
all streaming
Yeah,
platforms,
you already
any
there.
time of the day.
Really, it's definitely a vibe. I feel like I'm about to actually put it in the neo soul vibe on my station on
Ooh,
Sundays too. because
Bless.
it blends in so well. But yes,
Mhm.
thank you everybody for tuning into the TQuest show. Relatable, informative, yet entertaining. And you guys know you can download the TQuest mobile app in your Google Play Store and your App Store, and all the information you may have missed live. You know, I got your back, and I'll have it all in written form because I appreciate all my fans and followers. Until